I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, say this is Righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
Welcome to I Am Sure Sports.
I am sure sports. You know me there. I'm coast to coast representing. I mean, say this is Righteous representing for Omar. You don't know, come get the sports over here from near and far. Boy. Me say I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. I am sure sports, one thing me sure about. When me say sure, that me not doubt. Come get your sports, get it over here. Come subscribe, repost and share. If me not sure, that me not say it. Know who score, that me not say it. Never know no game play, that me not say it. If me never see no game, me no know who play. For your sports news, better come over here so. For your soccer news, then come over here so. If you don't love sports, still come over here so. For the day done, you are gonna love over here so.
So when it comes on to behavior concerning football, Jamaica is decent. I am sure that if we can get all of these things done, set in place by the end of April, it gives us enough time before the World Cup campaign. Not afraid of no Brazil, no Argentina with these crap of players. We are good enough. Remember, like, subscribe, share. Listen, comment, let me know what your thoughts are.
Trick Nick Jerk Marinade gives your meats and vegetables authentic Jamaican jerk flavor. The spices are directly from Jamaica. Spices like jerk seasoning, allspice, scotch bonnet pepper, fresh scallions, thyme, ginger, and garlic. The key ingredients to a great jerk marinade. 0% sugar and low in sodium. You want to try it?
Made up of 18 Jamaican herbs and spices. Add delicious, bold flavor to your next grilling experience. Flavoring sauce, a marinade, basting, condiment, or topping. Trick Nick Jerk Barbecue Sauce.
All right. Good afternoon. Welcome to I Am Sure Sports. I am your host, Manins Man, and I hope you're having a fantastic day. I need to know if you're hearing me. So if you're hearing me, please go ahead and let me know if you're hearing. Are you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Yeah. Are you hearing me, people? I need to know that you're hearing me loudly, and I need to know that you're hearing me clearly. Haven't been on for a while, so I have to test the system and make sure that everything is up and running. So let me know. All right, so there you go. Blue Heart says he's here. And so welcome to the platform. Again, I'm Mannings Man. Want to say big thank you to everyone who is on at this time. Had some challenges, so let me first apologize for the late start. Just as I was about to start, there was a power cut, and need to change the battery for my little gadget here that I use, because what happens every time the power goes down, there is no life in it to sustain it until the power comes up, right? So I figure that is something that I need to sort out. All right. So thanks to every one of you, and again, my apologies for the late start. It's going to be a very good show. It's going to be around an hour and a half long. I will keep it there, and then we will end. So make sure if you have your thoughts and comments, get them in very early. Welcome, Brain Drain. I like the word morphology, which is the study of shapes and structures, I believe. So I figure he's saying that we can change form and shape. And so Yeah, big up all the double agents. All right, bless up. Brian is saying that Pastor them say you're a double agent, so clear up that. No, nothing to clear up. If you call me double agent, dual citizen, double citizen, I care not. You understand? But the important thing is that you have to be important for people to be talking, for important people to be talking about you. And if unimportant people are talking about you, it makes you even more important. So either way, it's a good thing that while you're off the internet, people keep on calling your name, because what that does, it just helps with your own algorithm. So I love it. Keep doing it. It is a lot of fun, and I love the space. Yeah, man. Big up Tuffy Rudy and also Blue Heart. Big thank you to the sponsors of this video. The sponsors of this video, they are Prestige Finance, lending a helping hand when you need it the most. Prestige Finance is located in Linstead, St. Catherine, Jamaica, and they're offering loans of up to 100,000 Jamaican dollars. Yes, indeed. And all you have to do, listen, is very, very simple. All you have to do is to call them, reach out to them, right? That's it. All right. No processing fee, same day processing, and only 0 to 5%, 4% interest rate. Also, to launch Legacy with a handle risk and seek Legacy. Personal insurance in Canada and the USA. Visit them at launchlegacy.com or call or text them at 647-989-0782. All right, hope you have all been doing well. You'd have heard the news that there was some racial, don't want to say attack, but maybe that is the more appropriate word on Damian Lowe. But I mean, Damian Lowe is a very strong character. It needs to be investigated. It needs to be dealt with. But at the same time, I know that he won't allow it to deter him in any way, shape, or form. Also, you'd have heard that Ivan Toney is now called up to the England squad. So, see, don't want to blame him, but part of the issue is here it is that sometimes we, even with an Ivan Toney, good player, would have been good for the national team. But sometimes we really put down the players who are playing for a player who, like Ivan Toney, opts to play for England instead of Jamaica, right? And so we must be careful as to how we speak of the players who are playing. Because sometimes what we do is that we beat the players who are playing very hard for players who have not yet represented the country and may not even represent the country. So I ask us to be guarded in our comments when it comes on to the national players. I always say, you don't have to say, and I am guilty of that too. I never exempt myself from some of the criticism. But sometimes it is better to say we have better players available than to say the players are not good when they're earning a living. Imagine somebody is trying to buy a Jamaican, have them transfer to their club, and they come onto a local Jamaican platform and hear Jamaicans saying that the player is no good, the player is garbage. That could affect them. So let us speak more positively of our players, all right, because they are separate from the federation. You have a problem with the federation, but don't cause that problem with the federation to spill over to our national players. Give them as much support as you can. Yes, some of them need to work on their craft and their game. We do agree with that, but we don't have to be disrespectful in our comments towards them. All right, today I'm going to take some time to explain to you just, I must say that I'm very grateful for the privilege that I've had for being around and with Coach Heimir Hallgrimsson. Learned a lot about him by our interactions, and this is no assignment of the GFF. It just worked out that I met him in the most strange way. Should have done an interview on my platform, but then the situation with Jamaica came up out of a conversation. He applied, the job offer came up, and then that interview could not have happened. And so when he came into Jamaica, we got connected. And this is all of this. is from. And so I probably so far I've probably had most conversation with him. And people are saying that why not an interview? Listen, he's a principled man, and which is right. He feels like if he's going to do an interview, it should be with all the persons, including people on YouTube. Instead of making any one journalist or media personality that they have an exclusive right to him, including me, who we have a bond, we have sort of a friendship. All right. So for those of you who may be wondering, I have no lot or part in him getting any job at all. And in fact, I had an option of going to the game, purchasing my ticket, and then I would have been given a ticket just to make sure I stay clear from everything that has the scent of being conflict of interest. I've opted not to be a part of that. All right. So big up Damian Powell. Jason, been a while. Ian, check. All right. Rob Simit. Yeah, man. I'm back. Bless up. Listen, people, today is the 20th, right? I have 2 shows today. And I'm just saying, this number 10, because if you divide 20 by 2, you get 10. So if we get 10 super chats in this morning show, after the show, and 10 later, that would be awesome. So let's help see if we can get some super chats, some super stickers, a lot of likes, shares, and subscriptions to the channel. All right. So what did I learn from my interaction with the coach? All right. Number one, let me tell you a little bit about his family. All right. So he's married, and his wife played professional football. All right. She is a physical trainer. She has UEFA certification in this. And so if the female team needed a female physical trainer, she could be someone who fills that void and that gap, but she's trained in that. So he has a wife who he actually coached at some point at the senior level, and then they got married. All right. They have 2 sons. One is 26 and a 19-year-old who is going to be 20. Both play soccer. The 19-year-old going to be 20. He's going to be in Jamaica. So I suspect if he's in Jamaica with the coach at some point, then he will probably be playing for one of the clubs here because he's moving to Jamaica when they get to that. All right. So that's his family, extended family. They are very close. He's from one of the islands in Iceland that has 4,500 people. So that the entire community is 4,500 people. So they go into other places using ferry or boats. All right. So he's not from a large place, a big place. And for those of you who want to know, it's one of the reasons why he opted not to be in Kingston. He's not used to that kind of heavy traffic and chaos and confusion in a big city. And so he opted to be in Anarco. So you need to know that. So because of that, he's which is the second thing. So the 10 things I'm going to give you, they all begin with the letter F. So I spoke about his family. The next one, so because of that, he's very friendly and engaging. So he is a kind of person who wants to interact with people, go into the communities, go into the schools, go to churches, go to meet government officials, players and coaches all across Jamaica. And so he's like that because his background is where, like I said, that they're like 4,500 people and everybody knows everybody. All right. So that's part of it. So if you see him, he will not be one of the coaches who shies away like from media or persons. And let me just add to that, because of that, one of the things that I heard, because I like to listen, one of the things I've learned in leadership is that good leaders ask great questions. It's not the questions. In other words, it's not the amount of answers you give when you meet people. It's the amount of answers it's not about the answers you give, it's the amount of answers that you listen to. And so I took the opportunity to listen a lot, right? And so I'm not quoting him, I'm just telling you what I've learned in my interactions. And so because of that, one of the things that he'd love to see is that when the players are in Jamaica and say they finish training, that they find way of re-engaging the communities and the fan base. Say, for example, an Andre Blake. Andre Blake comes back to Jamaica for a game and they finish training, say at 12, and the next session is at 7. I'm just using hypotheticals and examples, right? I don't know training schedules, all right? And so Andre Blake and say 4 of the players, both local players and overseas based and born players, would go to where Andre Blake is from, maybe his high school or his community or some event there, and they would go and interact with the people. Others will go elsewhere. You know, he is the kind of person who wants his team to be having interaction with the business community because he believes that the team is the bridge between the JFF and the people, which means, and his ideology and philosophy is, if the JFF and the players are at odds, it's going to affect the fan base. So part of his responsibility, he believes, is to mend the relationship as best as possible because the fans are very important. And to get the fans on board, there needs to be a relationship between the JFF and the players, better relationship. And what that will do is that the players, because listen, the truth is, hey, the people in the community don't want to see the JFF. Can we all admit to that? Even when they believe that they are doing the greatest of job, the people in general don't have much confidence in them. So the face of the football must be the players, because it is the players that the people interact with the most or want to. The players don't want to meet like the general secretary. They don't want to meet the vice president. They want to meet the Mikel Antonio. So the coach believes that the players must engage the community. The players must go back to their communities and sign autographs, go back to the schools and meet the kids and give the kids jerseys and give the kids football. That's what he believes. I think that is fabulous. And that comes from the place where he's at, which is they are very interactive. And that's, so the Iceland team that he led, they were the culture, they were the people, and the people were them. It's like one. We have had a national team that the pandemic and before the pandemic, the people and the players have grown apart. And so attendance at games have been minimal. And so the coach wants to bring the people and the players back together to increase the attendance at our home games, which is crucial to us advancing. All right. So number one in this, his family, and then his friendliness. The other one is finance. They all begin with F. And as it comes down to finance, all right, I don't know the details of his pay package, but here's what I know. Here's what I know, right? He will not allow the money to hinder the work he has to do. However, he believes in the principle of compensation and compensating people financially. In other words, though he's not here for the money, if there's value in the service that he's offering, in principle, finances must be furnished. And I heard, I think, Dennis Strong saying that that is going to happen. Therefore, he also believes that the players must be compensated in due time and before time. In other words, the one issue that he wants to ensure that is never an issue for the duration of his time here is financial issue between the federation and the players. Because here's why. He knows that money is an important factor in the success and the failure of a national football team. You can get away with it when all your players are local. But when you have players coming from professional atmospheres and environment where they don't have to wonder where their paycheck is going to come in and when their bills are going to be paid, they are better able to focus on the task at hand, right? So financially, it's not like he will take over the finances of the GFF, but he will be there that he ensures that the team manager, and I'm telling you, Mr. Roy Simpson has a job that he needs to step up and be more open, transparent, and maintain a greater level of control and dialogue with the coaching staff. All right, wonderful. All right, so that's the era of finance. So family, finance, friendly. All right, I also want to speak about a common thing that he says, and I suspect if you hear him in interviews, you'll hear this. All right, it's called football reasons. What is football reasons? Every decision that he makes, here is what he says. It must be for football reasons. So a good example is the Andre Blake situation. As the coach, he intervened and changed it because he says any decision that is made about a player or about a game or about the coaching staff, a venue, location, it must be for footballing reason. So no player should be disqualified, exempt, dropped for any other reasons except for footballing reason, because he's here for the purpose of football. When a game is being arranged, I know one of the things you will ask, what is the football reason? So for example, say Jamaica decides to go to Senegal to play a game, because Senegal is going to the World Cup. The question is, what are the footballing reasons if all our top players are not going to play? Is that a good enough football reason? Why go all the way to Senegal to play the game? If, watch this, if it's only one game, which is 90 minutes, and you bring in 23 players. I'm telling you, this kind of thinking is so awesome because it opened my mind. So his question would be, what is the footballing reasons for that? What is the footballing reason? Because that's not a good enough football reason. If you're traveling that far, you need to put in games. So say the federation says, well, it's the money that we are going. Well, if you're doing it for the money, then arrange a next game, because you must do it for the money, but the team must go for footballing reason. That makes sense? So while the federation wants to make money, the team must play for footballing reasons, not money reasons. Hey, that's big. So that's family, finance, friendly, footballing reasons. All right. Rob Simit, why are you so downcast, my friend? This one is going to be in for a daily fight. With these principles, he won't last long. Oh, no. You really think so? All right. Let me see if I can get some more comment. Damian Powell, big up yourself. Coach Powell, while getting him coaching badges. That's so true, management. This is inspiring to the young youths of the community who want to play sports and know that someone from the community think about them. Think that is what that should say. Jamaica wears 10 like Pulisic of Chelsea, Messi, or Ravel. Yeah. Thank you so much. Who said that to Brain Drain? Martin Bradwaite. Jesse Gouda, thank you so much. And thanks for your comment on the video the other day. All right. Big up Eagle Republic. Stefan Wright, bless up as well. Ram Simit says his principles are the exact. So you don't think he can operate by, big up AQ as well. I see AQ, bless up yourself. You don't think he can operate by these principles and cause change in the federation? Remember, I did a video recently where I said that either the people need to change or the federation are change in terms of change their ways, or they need to be changed out and different people come into place. But these are principles that he's going to practice. So if he's not allowed it, it's not going to work. I can tell you that. If these things are not, he's not going to just, because I'm getting to some other things, because he's not just going to allow himself to be dictated to uncontrolled, which is critical. All right. So that's footballing reasons, right? Players and the coaching staff and all these things must be done for footballing reasons. All right. The other, so that's family, friend, finance, footballing reason. The other two is, while he has a vision for the future, he understands the importance of building the foundation. So there are two things. He has a thought for the future. So this is 2 in 1. But he realizes that the foundation must be fixed. So one of the things I learned from him is that there is no identity. And what happens when he has watched our games, when the players come, because there's no, people call it philosophy, identity, the players go to their default mode. So, for example, Andre Blake plays long ball at Philadelphia Union, and it works. When he comes to the national team, if there is no philosophy, what will he do? He goes back to the default. He goes back to what he's accustomed to. He goes back to what he has regularly practiced. And here's what happened. That practice from whatever club he's coming from doesn't work in the Jamaican system, because though they don't have an identity, they have a way that they want to play that goes against what he's used to. So it's very difficult. So he realizes that part of what needs to happen is that a philosophy needs to be established, an identity to our play, right? So that's it. And that will shape how we play going into the future, because his plan is not just for 2026, but part of his leadership is that he wants to leave what we call a legacy, that at some point when he goes, that there is a continuity to what he has established. And that means there is a clear identity for the national team. So you can, all the coaches across Jamaica can play different, but with the national team, there's a clear identity where the players understand every role and every function. And that has to be the foundation from a footballing reason perspective. But the foundation must also be right structurally in terms of how we do things. In other words, we have to utilize them. My Scout and the Instat and the video cameras, all of these things must be a regular part. When the players come, they must have masseurs that they are comfortable with and physios that they are comfortable with. And these things should not be stuff that we debate or we discuss. They are just established basics that needs to be there. Accommodations, established basics. Established basics. Flight arrangement. And so one of his pet peeves is poor flight arrangements. All right. One of the things I understand from, and I'm giving you, and I want you to know, is that he believes that whenever you have a game, you should have a minimum of 5 days. Once the window is open, you have 5 days leading up to the first game in any window. So like this game is not his ideal because it's just 2 days before the window. 1 day to recover from their flight and the next day to do light sessions and you play the game. this is not his ideal. His ideal would be to have a lead up of 5 days to the camp, which means that you better have better flight arrangements. It's one of his pet peeves. That means every player must get their ticket to and from the game at least 5 days before the actual game. Yeah. All right. So let's let me take some more comments. Eagle Republic says, management, why did you allow the JFF chase you off the ear, bro? You and I know that following the Reggae Boys and the JFF are bad for no, it wasn't anything like that. One of these days you'll understand. Management, these principles will cause change in the Fed. I said that. However, it's not the change we think. Instead, he might be changed out, and we have a new guff. No, I don't think so. There will have to be change. Listen, honestly, I think, all right, so I'm going to give you a reference point. No, he wasn't speaking because, all right, so this is awesome, right? If you go back to him being coach, right? If you look at his age now, when he was in charge of Iceland, you realize that he was younger. But do you know that the Icelandic Federation, during the time of their Euros and World Cup, the federation had competent people who were more mature, but they also had great integration of people between 30 and 45, right? That's something that he highlighted to me. Now, I infer from that the makeup of our administration is too one-sided on the mature side. In other words, we need greater competence, one, but we need also a more inclusive age demographic, which is getting people who are competent, not just young, but competent between the age of 35 to 45 in the administration who can help to re-energize and all of those things. Then that is something that this is not his portfolio, but just based on his talking to me, I feel like this is something that he would love to see in the football. All right. Let me take some more comments and then I'll go on because I've given you like 6. All these ideas will work if the person in JFF that controls the dollars changes or her thought process, because that's where we seem to fall all the time. Yeah, well, that is true. Are the people in the federation willing to listen to change? Because some people listen to stay the same, some people listen to change. Are they willing to listen to change? And I know change is difficult, but change is important. All right? It's a good point, Tough Rudy. Management, it's been a while. Looking forward to what you learn about coach. All right, Chip. Boo! Sports in the building. How you doing, man? Yeah, man. Bless up yourself, man. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. Man called Richie Plu. Claudia, it has been a while, you and Shem J has been missing in action, But good to see you as usual, drinking wine. All right. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. Bless up yourself. Brain Drain says, I think fans are going with Coach Grim for short, although Grim is a negative word. Based on the interest in player for the national team, Jamaica can field a very strong 11 in the near future. All right. This is just additional. I've given you 6. This is not part of the 10 because it doesn't. Well, you know what? I could actually use it and say find, which is finding players. All right. And so from what he has said, he says, listen, one of the key things that Jamaica needs to do is look what happens in terms of selection in the England World Cup squad. Excuse me. So those players who can represent Jamaica if they, and we can tell that a lot of them will not be in the England squad for the World Cup. All right, I can throw some names out there. All right, Lewis Baker, Isaac Hayden, Nathan Redmond, Demarai Gray, Mason Holgate, Ben Godfrey. That's like 6 or so names. Those players, and this is my opinion now, I don't think they will be in the English squad for the World Cup, which means after that squad has been named, which is in the month of October, the JFF should arrange a friendly during that FIFA break that the clubs give the players to prepare for the World Cup. Arrange some friendlies during that time. Call in some of these players so that these players can play. The issue you have is this. Like Argentina, I found this out earlier today. For the game against Argentina, if you don't have a Jamaican passport, you cannot play. Because a lot of these teams, they want it to be what you call official friendly, and the points from those games add to their FIFA seedings and stuff. So Argentina, when they want to play Jamaica, they want to play with players who have their Jamaican passport. So I think the player name is Jonathan Russell. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think he has a Jamaican passport yet. So I don't think they will allow him to play, which means that there's one more player that will need to be changed out of the squad. But that's what I'll do if I were the JFF. In November, I'd play a couple of games in the same area. Maybe you look at 2 of the African nations or 2 of the European nations that you can play. You can move from one nation to the other. They are bordering, or one of those nations can come over and join you and play a 3-team tournament and bring in some of these players, which would mean that you need to begin to approach them from now. And so part of his job, and this is something that I know that he plans on doing, is actually going to England and personally engaging these players. I think that's a tremendous move to find players. All right, good stuff so far. Hit the like button if you're going good. Listen, if you like what you're hearing, hit the like button. Make sure you have done that. Make sure you have also subscribed. Make sure that you share the content. And listen, need some super chats and super stickers today. Understand me? Need to get some water, all right, to drink, and to bathe. But yeah, let's do that, right? So family, finance, friendly, right? Think about the future, building the foundation, right? So family, finance, friendly, thinks about the future, build the foundation, and footballing reasons, all right? What else did I learn? Let me just take this comment. Man is man, I think the JFF wants to go to the next World Cup. So in my opinion, this coach will get the full autonomy regarding him managing the team and his principle. I think that's Stefan right, because I can tell you this. If Jamaica let me say this, if Jamaica fails to qualify for the World Cup in 2026, I think it will be a struggle in our generation to see Jamaica qualify for the World Cup again. That's just, I could be wrong, but I think this is, yeah. I think that would be it. All right. Foreign Spider says so his rule is broken right out the gate. What rule, Foreign Spider? Which one of the rule? Let me see. I don't know if you made an earlier comment. Man is man. We find out the jack. Huh? Rob Smith, behave yourself. What? Rob Smith, it looks very good. Coach salary post yet? The gym will have to pull up the socks as your teeth be. That's a good one. Is it the dentist will either the GFF pull up them socks or the teeth will be pulled or the tooth. Do you see all of this? Yeah. Listen, I can't tell you what the discussions are. You notice I was not even at the press conference, right? I can't tell you what they have discussed. You understand me? Big up Jason with the yeah. Let me just skip down to this super chat. He said the GFF needs a closer relationship with Peacock and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Ministry of Sports. So some of these things can be streamlined. And I think I need to do probably a show with Ian, or maybe he can do it somewhere else. That way, what he can do is really and truly explain like some of the hiccups and how that can work out, because I think that would be good. But there needs to be an arm in the federation to deal with that, I believe. Ronaldo Rankin, no man, I haven't stopped doing schoolboy stream. I was just busy, and so we will be starting that soon. So thank you for that super chat. Respect Jason. Looking for some more, so we have at least 9 more to go today. All right, so that's 6, right? Now the coach, like I said, I've had the opportunity of being around him, right? And I can cite many examples, but I won't do that. But one of the things I must say is, and for people asking about the schoolboy show, we will be doing our schoolboy show. Some teams have just played one game, so it's still early stages and times, but we are going to get to that soon. All right, so let me say this, right? So the coach has to move, and I've been there and stuff to kind of help to coordinate and get some of those stuff done. And there have been occasions, right, where persons connected to football offered help, and he graciously refused it. And so seeing the interactions, I kind of said, "What? Why, coach?" He said, "Omar, never put yourself in a position where you're under pressure to do back a favor." All right. Now, and I must say that he's not suggesting that anyone would ask him for a favor in return, but the principle is important. So if he wants to move from point A to point B, here is what. He would not go with, say, Jason is a coach. He would not ask Jason to take him. And here's why. He doesn't want Jason to be of the impression that because I took the coach from point A to point B, one day I can reference one of my players to him. Because that puts him under pressure as a coach to want to make a favorable decision. You understand? I think these are principles that must govern how we operate. You get that? He doesn't want, so he will refuse even the simplest of things. He will refuse because he believes that one act of favor sometimes can spiral into a request for other things to be done. Yeah. Makes sense. Thanks for the super sticker, Neo. Listen, I'm coming there. The comments are coming in so fast, and they're trying to get. So he will accept no favor. He will accept no favor. So he doesn't really want to be called and told about players. Like, hey, I have this player. No. What he wants is that there is a database where players can plug into, and he will use the My Scout and the Insta to look at the players himself. And I like that. It means that every player who meets a particular standard will have an opportunity. And that is key for the coach, because which is clear, not everybody. Listen, one of the things, let me just say this, one of the things he said is that if you're good enough to make the national team and you're in Jamaica, you're not going to be good enough to make the national team. Let me say that again, right? This is critical. If you're good enough to make the national team, but you continue to play in Jamaica, you're not going to be good enough to make the national team. So when you get into the national team, playing in the league in Jamaica, you have to find a way to get out of Jamaica. Because here's why. The players who go out of Jamaica are going to be further in their development than you. Because the league in Jamaica, once you start playing for the national team, it is hard for it to prepare you for that level of football. See how that makes sense? So, Mr. Speed, come January, you said that there's a major league offer for Richard King. Send him there in the interim. Don't let him linger in the league in Jamaica. Even if it means you taking less money, do that. But release him and then put on some sell-on clause and get back some of the money. But I don't think it is wise for him to stay because the players who go away are going to grow past him. That's my suggestion. All right. John Doe says, Mannings, who really thought Argentina would want to play a fun friendly when everyone is playing meaningful friendly? John Russell was always a bad call-up with no passport when all them have, don't understand the end of that. No, but all right. So I think, no, it's not a fun friend. All right. So John Doe, if John Russell played, Jonathan Russell played for Jamaica in the friendly, it would probably make it more competitive given the CDMs that we have. But an Argentina probably figure he would probably offer more competition in the CDM role than whomever replace him. I don't know. So it's not a fun friendly. It is that the ranking points will be affected and they don't want it to. Because the truth is, if players without passport could play, it would probably provide more competition for Argentina. But they want more than the competition. They want the points that they get to have value in the FIFA ranking. So I think we need to separate both of those. All right. Big up Near Sovereign Laws and Insight. Everald Bryan has also, name some of the players. The coach name in the Reggae Boy squad. The squad is out already. I don't know. The squad is out, Everald Bryan. Squad is all over the place, man. Everybody, me out of videos, the squad has been out for a while. Curtis Stilt has been added. Wes Harding has been added to the team. So I don't know. I don't know what you mean, like who the coach. I don't know, Everald Bryan. Maybe, just help me with the question, all right? Owen, bless up. Damien says one of our downfall from last qualifying is preparation. The preparation is too short. There are 3 or 2 days just can't work, which is one of the things he's trying to change. All right. So therefore, Mannings, we are not supposed to see any player applying their trade locally, continuously being called up to the national team. All right. So let me say it again from my interaction, what I thought. If you get called, you can be playing continuously in the national team, in the National League here in Jamaica, the JPL. So you get called to the national team. The position is and this is my understanding, right, from interaction. At the international level, the competition is of a higher quality than the local league. You will not develop rapidly enough in the local league to match that. So once you get that call up, you have to find a way of playing at a higher level with greater competition so that you can move faster up to the level of international football. Because there are other players outside of Jamaica who are playing at that level, and even if you start out ahead of them locally, because they're playing at a higher level, they are going to grow past you. That is my understanding. I don't know if that is saying what you are saying, but that's what my understanding is. Yeah. All right. JFF need to find a position or a team of people to assist the coach with player climatizing and to assist with the necessary procurement of documentation. Yeah, I think so. And I think that Ian Campbell is one of those persons. Once you think the JPL players don't know that, they know, but they don't pick themselves. Big up Tricknick Cooks, Tricknick. The people them say no more giveaways from Tricknick. Bless up yourself. For you mean Tricknick in the building. Yeah. Yep. So. All right. Just want to make sure that it is exactly what you said, Stefan. Right? You understand me? Reddy says, "Best of management. Was it great meeting you and playing alongside you here in Port St. Lucie?" Really? Oh, really? People, you see it? It's a management, no joke. You see a person who I never even know that they're coming on. Big up, really, say, met me in Port St. Lucie. You see it? What if you said that? Yes, big up with your 2 goals on your visit. Keep up the work, really. Treasure Coast Masters. When the competition is up, you know, management will be there live and in living colors. But big up all my friends from Treasure Coast Masters. Yeah, man, I will be there. I will be there. You guys need to just give me early notice when the competition is going on so I can, you know, fly on in and come knock some balls. It's a pleasure playing with you guys over there in Port St. Lucie, man. Bless up all my fans. Yeah. All right. So, yeah. All right. Street 876. They're working on a friendly against Chile in November. Okay. All right. That's good. That's good to know. That's good to know. All right. So, yeah. So those are some of the F's. He's also I will say this, right? Because like I say, I like to learn from people and listen to them. So he asked me some good question. He says, what is he says in football, possession, the idea that possessing the ball equates to winning the game is false. It is not true. All right. Let me say it again. He says this. The idea, the notion that ball possession equates to winning is not true. He says, listen, you don't have to have higher percentage possession to win. But what you need to do, your team need to know how to move the ball from one end of the field, get into the box, creating chances. All right? So by that, I think this idea that we'll be playing some tiki-taki is not it. He said, listen, because like some of these things are awesome, which is, to be fair, I've heard persons like Craig Butler say this as well. Craig Butler speaks about we must use some of our natural ability, our speeds. And Craig Butler always says, who is the fastest persons or people on the planet Earth? Jamaicans, right? Jamaicans. All right. So when he says that, here's what happened. The coach is saying that if you can sit in a deep block, hit your player, hit the Leon Bailey or whoever else, and the Kaim Paris on the counter against the opponent, and use your athletic ability and speed, that will help. What people don't want to see is that you're not defending well and yet you keep giving away the ball. But even if you play the long ball, watch this, even if you play the long ball, once it is working and you're creating and scoring, people don't have a problem, right? It says people don't have a problem with long ball. People have a problem with losing ball. That's a big one. I love that one. You understand me? Long ball is not a problem. It is losing the ball that is a problem. Isn't that true? All right. Yeah. Yeah, man. No, well, people tell, yeah, man, Pussman a big ball at Kirk Hendricks. Definitely. But Cecil Pringle's right up there, you know, and Sean Rodney and Bobby Stewart, you know, them 4 man there, you know. Creech and them on there and Fire, you know, them keep on them on there, you know. You understand me? Have a Lucky C. Williams, you know, Cassie play for Jamaica U teams, you know, but Pussman up there, you know, some big baller, yeah, but Pussman right up there, man. Pussman right up there. I like what first responded. People, we said 10 super chat or super sticker, and we only have 2 so far, Neo and Jason. So make we hit some more. You understand me? Very easy. Right beside the chat thing, you see the super sticker thing, the dollar sign. You just go there and you just drop something. Question for you, man. I like how you do this, right? There is no question. All right, but you just a question for you. I figure it is coming at some point. All right. JFF is this one says, failed organization, we need to destroy the JFF and rebuild it. All right. Until we have a plan to rebuild, we have to work with it as best as possible. That's what I'd say. Don't knock down the house. Watch this. Don't knock down the house and have nowhere to live. You understand me? You can knock down while you live in a room in the house. You understand me? Don't tear down the whole building. All right. Tiki-taka does not matter or play, even in the ones ones we get from the diaspora, maybe only Ravel. Right? Damian Lowe must be smiling that coach doesn't care about long ball. He just have to connect. Yeah. But seriously, if you have a person playing the ball long, and every time they play it long, Leon Bailey gets it, take on some players and create an opportunity, who'd be vexed about that? The issue is that when we play it long, we normally lose it. All right? So this one says, Jamaica youth players does not have tactical knowledge of football from a young age. We have poor youth coaches with limited knowledge. We have these coaches played or gained knowledge. That's CL Hall. Listen. I am challenged by some of this, right? I'm going to tell you why. Because it was some local coaches that took us to under 17 and under 20 World Cup. All right. So the fact that we got to those places does say that we have coaches who do well. It was local coaches that prepared the 1998 team. It was Carl Brown and many others that he was working with. So I do believe that we have good coaches. The issue we have is that our best coaches coach at the highest level. I think our best coaches need to coach at the lowest level. A lot of those coaches are probably not in the same. But where I can agree with you is that there needs to be an improvement in coaching education, which is what they have been working on. All right. But I get your point here, Hall. Do you think the GFF admin has improved recently? What I'll say is that they have done some things that I think are good, like the hiring of this coach, and they have the Adidas deal. I will keep my comments there. But to say improvement from where and what? Like, what would I be measuring them against? That's the thing. But what I would say is that there are some things that have happened that are good for the football, like the Adidas deal, the hiring of this new coach are two of the things that I can speak to. So over recent time, those are the two most recent things that I think are very good. The coaches as well that have been doing the coaching education thing, a lot of them have been very impressed with it. So I would say that. But to say the organization itself, the admin has improved, I think that would be hard. I would have to know what it is being measured against. Yeah. What is your greatest fear regarding Coach Green and his possible direction? That he doesn't get all that he needs to do what he needs to do. That's the greatest fear I have. That with all the good plans, he doesn't get the support, the structure, and the finances to accomplish what he has set out to do. Because I honestly believe that if we can get the system right, the finances right, and the resources right, we could go to multiple World Cup based on his plans. And I also believe he will have an impact on the under-20 team in particular. All right, one more. So we have 7 more to go. Big up Trick Nick with the $10 Canadian on the super sticker. There we go. So that's 3. A little bit more to go. Neil says if the coach has big reputation internationally, could he help with finding players, trials at club? Is it unreasonable to hope for this? No. Hey, listen, there is a coach at a club in England that actually played for this coach team in Iceland. Coach name David Moyes. Yeah. And you know that there's a player there that I think is good and has Jamaican connection. His name is Ben Johnson. Mikel Antonio is there. So I think he would be able to work things out with Mikel Antonio and David Moyes. Yep. So that's something good as well to look to. But I agree with you here. It will happen because I know he has dialogue with a lot of persons who coach in England. You know. Yeah, Kirk, I don't think like CL is absolutely right on that, you know. Big up, God bless you. Blessings to you, man. Where are those coaches and what did the players attain after? No transition of players to the next level is the big concern. All right, so let me give you players who were developed in Jamaica and transitioned overseas, who were coached by Jamaicans. Jermaine Teddy Johnson was coached by a Jamaican. Ricardo Fuller was coached by Jamaican. Tyrone Marshall was coached by Jamaicans, and they were all in Jamaica. Andy Williams in Jamaica, Claude Davis in Jamaica, Stu Pease in Jamaica, Keith Kelly in Jamaica, Luton Shelton in Jamaica. So all of these players were coached by Jamaicans. So to say that we have none, it's a little bit extreme. The truth is we can be critical enough, but we don't have to move from one extreme to the next. We can be balanced in our criticism because you have a point. But when the point goes so extreme that we have none and none of them can coach and we never, that's all I'm saying is that's a little bit too extreme. Like you said, no transition of players to the next. There have been transitions. Shamar Nicholson transition. Kahim Paris transition. Andre Blake developed in Jamaica, you know, until he got to college, you know, because, you know, at college he got better. He wasn't developed. He was already developed. I think Paul Campbell was the goalkeeper coach at that time. And so, I mean, I see, like I said, we don't have to be extreme because sometimes we have valid points. We have valid points, but when we get extreme, it's not, you know, yeah. I think that is it, you know. Exactly, man, is we need start building the house from the base instead of trying to build from the top for the past 20 years. Absolutely. First responder says, well, if they have not hired or fired anyone recently, I'd say no, sir. Chris Williams got another brains to help him. The JFF just happy to be. Well, if they have not hired or fired anyone recently, I'd say no, sir. Chris Williams got another brains to help him. The JFF just happy to be mediocre. Oh yeah, the Owen Hill, I think the name is. The JFF needs sponsorship to travel wherever the team goes. The JFF. Yeah. Good point. That also Rob Smith. All right. Iceland, big up, be a blessing is so we have a bigger pool from him to pick from in terms of football, especially on the youth level. Austin as well. Yeah, man, I can give a lot of names. Omar Daly. Oh geez, a lot of these guys, man. Yeah. So we don't have to be extreme. There you go. This is the next good point. It has changed. Listen, I can tell you this. A lot of what I learned as a football, well, I had good coaches. I had like Wendell Downswell, Everton Tomlinson. In my young age, I work with Christopher Bender, Daniel. So I have had in my journey good coaches. All right. But what my kids are exposed to now is high level stuff. Things that I wasn't hearing in my time of learning football. I always say to myself, if with the natural ability that I have, if I were like my kids' age with the natural ability that I had, I would probably be in Europe. Because the advancement of how coaching is done now is randos and those things are things that, listen, people forget that back in those days, right? Just internationally, a lot of football was jogging, and you'd spend like 45 minutes jogging and then 15 minutes of pass and control and then a 10 minutes game. Yeah. I heard about this as well, about the kicking out. I think that would be hard. No, man. All right. So you're mixing up something, CL. All right. So this is where now the football discussion is, we can't be, we have to logical. You cannot compare qualifying to World Cup with quality of players. The United States had many quality players, including Christian Pulisic, and they didn't qualify for the last World Cup. Would you say that over the last 8 years, America had no quality players, no coaches because they missed a World Cup? You cannot connect missing World Cup with not having quality players. There are many nations who struggle to qualify for the World Cup, but they have many quality players. Countries like Norway produce good players and don't qualify. Poland produce good players and don't qualify. They don't. You have top players in Europe, in nation, Moldova. They have good players, but they don't qualify. So the measuring stick cannot be qualifying for the World Cup because only 32 teams go there out of the over 200 nations. I can't agree with that. Bolivia had Echeverry, Miss World Cup. And they had other players playing in Europe. So I don't think you can use both still. You understand me? So this is the last one because you're changing from different things. You see, here's what you're going to. First, you said that we don't have any quality coaches. All right? Now you're moving, so why are we beating the JFF to recruit in England if our talent is sufficient? Who said our talent is sufficient? So this is the kind of thing that spiral into all kind of different discussions. So I'm not going to continue it because you're already saying other things that were not a part of it. So I'm gone from that. All right. I'm gone from that. Yeah. Yeah. Wales, Ireland, Scotland. That are these places struggle. I can go on and on and on and on. Senegal went struggle. Ivory Coast. Algeria. Italy. Hungary. So let me say it again. You started out. Let me go to your initial statement. If you want to discuss the amount, how much talent Jamaica have, you can have that discussion. Because that's not where you started. If you want to discuss the talent that Jamaica have, we can have that discussion. All right? Listen what he said. Jamaican youth players does not have tactical knowledge of football from a young age. We have poor youth coaches with limited knowledge. Where have these coaches played or gained knowledge? That's where you started your conversation. That's where you started your conversation. And then it spiraled into not having enough talent. I'm saying that you're changing what your original discussion was. All right, but let me get back to the coach and stick to, footballing reason. So failure for this coach, listen, this is a project that he believes he needs to be successful at. And I would say it this way, the F is failure is not an option. And it means that if he stays, the association, the federation will have to come on board. And the players will have to come on board. You hear me? If he stays, it means that everybody will have to come on board because he's not doing this to fail. He is not doing this to fail. He believes that there is a realistic opportunity for us to qualify for the World Cup in 2026, increase our pool of players and our reach in terms of players from the under 20 and under 17 level, and guess what? And qualify for 2030 again. He believes that there is a 2-cycle qualification if we get things right. Yeah. All right. So let me take this. You see, you're changing the conversation again. Feel free to ignore the reality of our football. We have poor coaches. Of course, there are poor coaches. There are poor coaches everywhere in the world. There are substandard talents everywhere in the world. To say that every Jamaican who has played football is substandard is incorrect. That's what I'm saying to you. You don't have to be extreme. You don't have to be extreme. Why you have to be extreme? You cannot just make a blanket statement like that. Of course, we have poor coaches. Jamaica is not the only place with poor coaches. And everybody agree that the coaches need to improve. But initially, you were talking about we having no coaches. That is why you were being corrected by even Kirky. He corrected you. Because You said that we don't have no coaches who can coach. The coaches coach our teams to World Cups, and we ignore that. I gave you a list of players. If you want to say that Ricardo Gardner is substandard, that's your opinion. You know, I'm not going to fight you on that. I don't believe so. If you want to say Ricardo Fuller is substandard, that's your opinion. I can't argue with you. I just don't agree with you. But I'm not going to make a general statement. I'm not making any general statement. How many World Cups have Panama qualified for? Do they have coaches and are they substandard? El Salvador, look at the region that we're in. So all I'm saying is that we can be critical and there are many things that are wrong and need to be fixed. But we don't have to be extreme and exaggerate to make a point because it is already a point. If you just say that, listen, we need better coaches. We have some coaches, but we need some better coaches. That you don't have to exaggerate. That's the reality. But to say when you begin to put no and never and you pile everybody in a big bunch, you don't have to do that. All right. Michael Garden, blessings, my brother. Hope all is well. What I missed. Also, what are the plans going forward for coaches and their educational development? Well, I think this coach is going to help with some of those things. I think he's going to help with coaching development as well. All right. Yeah. It's automatic. Stardees. Stardee Music is the one who said that. Hey, Stardees, you need to delete that comment, and first you have to put in your original first comment. And after you make your original first comment, you put in the second comment. What is your original first comment, Stardee Music? Management is a double agent. Coach Minzy, double agent. All of the vloggers are double agent for Stardee Music. Big up yourself, Stardee Music. I heard Hallgrimsson's style is more defensive role, but I'd like to see Jay play a high tempo pressing style and also play on both ends of the pitch. But hopefully it will work out for Jamaica. Let me tell you what I can see for the Argentina game. That though he'll be there, because remember the truth is he won't even have time to have sessions with the player. So you figure that Coach Meron Gardner will have a role to play. Because this is just an observation mission. What I will tell you is that you're right, Bala kick 90. You will see him shaping and organizing the defense. Yeah. Management, the potential of players have to choose from. If we get things right, it can revolutionize our country. 1,000,000%. Agree. Totally agree. But I also say there's a major role for the federation to play in this. The federation needs to create an arm in the federation that deals with this. Player recruitment and the procurement of their necessary documentation, especially at the youth level, I believe. However, I would say to some of the players, especially those who are in the London area, it doesn't hurt to start the process of getting the Jamaican passport, because it's better to have it and don't need it than you need it and don't have it, right? If you really have that desire, don't wait on the federation. Begin to process it. You already have a British passport. You don't lose your British citizenship if you get a Jamaican passport. So that would be my recommendation. Go ahead and start processing it, right? So that if Cataract, Ryan, Coach Minzy, Military Gona, Formula, Talawa, Ryan LFC, somebody identifies you, Mr. Porter, and say, hey, you can play for Jamaica, and they're going to recommend you. You can say, listen, I already have my documentation. Others may not be in London, may not have access to get into London easily and stuff. That's fine. But those of you who you already think like, I'm not going to get called up for England and I want Jamaica. If you're listening, what I would advise you to do is to, if you can, you have the time, begin to work on your documentation, because it doesn't change. It doesn't stop you from representing England if you're called up, right? And you can do it incognito. Is he planning on staying that long? Because the thing about project is that they usually have an NDA. True, I guess, but you can always extend it depending on how the project is going. All right. The national team also need a start. I think that is state-of-the-art training facility. True. All right. How many Fullers and Gardners have we produced based on participation rate? I could ask you, how many Ronaldos have Portugal produced? How many Messis of Argentina produced? How many Zlatans of Sweden produced? How many Haaland has Norway produced? Come on, man. We can't do that. Come on, man. We have to lift the levels, people. All right, you see, if we have to lift the levels of reasoning and think about what we say. Football is not like that. Argentina has produced one Maradona. Brazil has produced one Pele, and nobody has come close to them. Nobody has come close to Ronaldo at Portugal. There's nobody that has a recipe for producing their top talent over and over again. Bobby Charlton from England. How many of them they have produced? Eusebio. Cruyff. How many of them Haaland has produced? We can't view the football like that. We don't need to produce an ex-Fuller. We don't need to produce an ex-Gardner. This is where you and I can agree. You and I can agree that if, like I said, our best coaches coach at the lowest level, we can be competitive in CONCACAF. Listen, we don't need Messi's. Listen, let me tell you this. In CONCACAF, we don't need Messi's to qualify for the World Cup. If we give the teams in CONCACAF have become so close, you don't need a Messi and a Ronaldo to qualify. You don't need, in CONCACAF right now, you don't need Messi kind of talent, Ronaldo kind of talent to qualify. The play is not that high quality that if we put together the present roster that we, listen, I put it to you that the roster that we had, the ones who played the most games, the roster that we had with the Mikel Antonio, East and Pino, I put it to you, if we had 3 months of preparation with the said group of players, kept the 30 of them together to the end of the campaign, fix all the things that the federation caused, including the travel and all that, if all of those things were fixed, we would have qualified. We would have qualified. I am telling you that. So we don't need a Zlatan kind of a talent to qualify. We don't need that. It would be good to have it, but we don't need it. We don't need that. So the first thing we have to fix is the system. Because I'm telling you, even if we don't have those top talent, right, we can still qualify. I see that a lot of people only watch a press conference but didn't listen to what the coach said. His style of play will depend on the players at his disposal. Exactly, Jason. Exactly, Jason. Exactly, Jason. Yeah. Ram Smith, you talk to see an audience. You talk to him. Will the Argentina game be a money raising, no shame spread exercise? Will it be a good faith competitive game? I expect Argentina to beat us, but we will be feeling a half-hearted pickup game. Listen, any player that goes up against Messi and all of those Argentinians to have fun is a joker. If I were international player, this is the game that I want to go out there and let the world know that the lockdown Messi, the lockdown La Celso, same name, and me cut it past Martinez and wet it past the goalkeeper Martinez. Me beat Martinez and me bust the net. And me take the ball off of Diabla, Dybala. Same name Dybala. And me did that. You're going, listen, Andre Blake must say, and me fly up in the pigeon and pick out the Messi free kick that can be determined. Say, they you then are scoring on 2 goals. What you talking about? Listen, so that is how I think the players should see it. Because that is how I should see it. Yeah. Hey, big deal, Len. Me now put up. Big deal, Len. You know, so me now put up a comment there. Your problem, but yeah. Yeah, Brazil seem to have that recipe. Maybe it's grandma recipe, and then share it. Okay, but all right. The A team, the A team we had in the past campaign could have done it. I think so. I think if the federation had gotten their act together. Yeah. All right. See you need players in top leagues getting proper exposure and professional training daily to compete. That we can agree on. But where are the players? The players not going born there now. Isn't all right, so let's look now. Isn't Andre Blake keeping in the top league and the MLO? It's the MLS is one of the in the top 10 when you look at the leagues, you know. Maybe we don't rate it, but it is. Kaim Paris is playing for Dynamo Kiev. So we have players. It is happening. We have a lot of players now doing that. Shamar Nicholson. We have players doing that. And that don't mean that we have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do, but we must not speak like we don't have any player playing in any top league. Leon Bailey is a Jamaican player. Man, do you think Demarai Gray will decide to play for Jamaica now that we have a new coach? Personally, I feel it's still 50-50, especially with him seeing Ivan Toney getting an English call-up. All right, here's the thing now. That is what I'm saying. When that World Cup squad is named, that's where we will know. Let's see what England will do with their World Cup squad. I hope the coach go to 3-5-2. We can't play a back four with these players. Start the music. You must be trolling. You must be trolling. Where's Taxi made Messi work, but Messi is Messi. There you go. Messi is Messi, man. I am sure sport. Is this real life or PlayStation? Brain drain. I don't have a clue what that is about. Blue Mountain. Yo. You're right, man. We don't need to produce another Gardner, Full or any other top player. We need to produce better than them who can win the World Cup. People. Let me say this. I don't expect Jamaica to win the World Cup in my lifetime. I don't. Can it happen? Nothing is impossible, but I don't expect it. What I believe is that every 12 years, we can qualify for a World Cup. So since, we should have qualified for one since 1998. Every 12, so every 3 cycles we qualify. Listen, Italy miss World Cup, man. Holland miss World Cups, Belgium miss World Cups, Switzerland miss World Cups, Hungary miss World Cups, So it's not Jamaica alone. So the idea that we are supposed to be in every World Cup and win World Cup and create players. Fantasy land, man. Kyle Walker Peters. Yes, I think he has Jamaican connection. Players will have to improve themselves to be worthy of being in his squad. Absolutely. Jerome 876. Our local coaches need to leave Jamaica and expand their knowledge. We need to have coaches in Mexico, USA, Canada, and Panama to learn their formula for success. I would listen. This is the next thing. Like personally, what success has Panama? How many World Cups Panama qualified for? Canada. It's the second time Canada qualifying for the World Cup just the other day, man. Look how long before them qualify. USA didn't qualify for the last World Cup. Maybe we can use Mexico. I don't think success. I think we should. Looking at success, we should aim higher. Any player who intends to go to New Jersey to take selfies with Messi. You say every two cycle. All right. People never say every 2 cycle, but it's all right. Every 2 cycle. Yeah. So did I give you 10 things, right? I gave you family, finance, friend, focus, fear, right? Future, foundation, no favors, failure is not an option, footballing reasons. Yeah. We'll never see a set of players like our golden generation, 2004 to 2008. King, Gardner, you, Claude, the best. Okay, that was the best generation of locally born players. Never qualified for the World Cup though. Hey, people, we keep forgetting, that this crop of players, let me give you them. Andre Blake, Kemar Lawrence, Alvas Powell, Damian Lowe, Corey Burke. I think he's in the group. Speedy. These guys went to, didn't they go? I think Darren Mattox. Didn't they go to 2 World Cup finals and a semi-final? I don't know. Issa Allen says, Mannings, we don't want to create another Fuller, Gardner, or Bailey. We need to be getting players who are able to surpass those guys. Mannings, man, we play in CONCACAF, brother. You kind of missed my point. When was the last time we played England, Germany, and all right, boss. I miss your point. Point. All right. Oh, so I say our local coaches need to leave Jamaica and expand their knowledge. We need to have coaches. Oh, you need to have, what I say that you need to have Jamaican coaches coaching in Mexico, in the USA, in Canada, and in Panama. Okay, to learn their formula for success. I don't know. I don't think I missed that point, but yeah. I don't agree with you that he has never had a good game for Jamaica. Andrew 55. Mannings, your expectation is low for our football. I agree we have some decent players going forward, but we need to win games outside of our region. All right, so see, and this is it. There's a difference between a team winning and having good players. That's what you're missing. That's what I'm saying, is that you can have good players and your national team still struggle because we don't have enough. Do we need enough? Yes. But now you're saying we have decent players. I don't think Leon Bailey is a decent player. I think he's above decent. I think Karim Paris at his age is above decent. I think Andre Blake is above decent as a goalkeeper. So, like I'm saying, I don't agree. You have a point, but I don't agree with the extreme measure of how the point is being made. Hey, Coach Means, you mean that? You hear me say? I am sure sports, and that me sure about. You want to know what I am sure about? I am sure sports, and that me sure about. Let me say it again. I am sure sports, and that me sure about. I am sure sports, and that me sure about. That me sure about. That me sure about. Yes, sir. Anyway, people, listen. 4 minutes to go, and management have to be whooshing out of here. I have to have an assignment that I have to take care of. So 4 minutes. Thank you for your time in this midday edition of I Am Sure Sports. We'll be back later. Yeah. You're partially correct, management. The coach did say we have a lot of good players up top, but the defense is still short and quality option. Isalin, you listen to the press conference. You know, some people never listen to the press conference. Yeah. Big deal, yeah, man. Big deal, then. Yeah, man. Double agent, man. Yeah, man. Double agent, Coach Minzy from GPS Media. Double agent. Yeah, double agent, Coach Minzy over on GPS Media. GPS Media, Coach Minzy. Where you talk about? I'm glad you spot him, you know. Big deal, then. I'm glad you spot him over there, you know. You understand me? I'm glad you spot him. Yeah, man. I am sure sports, be sure about real youth, man. We have some really good set of players. And I see a lot of success. There you go. So we have some good players. Now I get what you're saying, Dapper Agent. If we learn what they are doing, then we'll be better able to prepare them. Management. Yes, a fresh gun. You hear me over there? You hear my voice? I just see Coach means the face. So I wonder which one I did over there. Management, can one be poor and organized? Of course. A person can be poor and organized. Organization is not dependent on status, man. It's management, your ability to manage your space and your time. You understand me? Yeah. I would tell you tough Rudy, you know what I go on. Yeah. Nah, man, all Coach Minzy have to do, man. All Coach Minzy have to do is link me and me make him drop on a spot in the city. You understand me? No, this is Ali Cup jersey, man. Ali Cup jersey. But a Brazil man say Brazil. Like a Norwich jersey, man. A Norwich a championship, man. A champion jersey me wearing a championship jersey. No poor man is organized, man. Oh no, man, don't say that. Yo, what the poor listen, all of the poor people them were organized. And all of the people them who grew up in a poverty. And your mother and your father, you never live in a big houses. But when the house ever kept clean, your father managed your local resources, make sure you don't have dinner, the bills them pay. You understand? Make sure you don't go to school. Your mother, when you come home, your mother wash your clothes, make sure them organized and you go to school. You pass your exam and you help lift your family out of poverty, brother. No man, not tell me say poor people can't act. What kind of thing that, man? I wouldn't say them a thing, yeah, man. Show no face, yeah, man. Hey, people, my God. I would say them a thing, yeah, man. Hey, look at the man who... Hey, listen, people. You know the man who started Adidas? Adi? Not Vice Cartel, but Adi was his name, you know. Adi Dressler, I think his name was a German. Yeah. The man started in his barn, brother. $100 billion company. Poor man. Adi. Come up with the idea. Oh, you know, me never know that. Me never know that my brother Coach Minzy. Never know that my brother. That's a good one. Really? Yo, I didn't know that. Yeah, man. KY, me can't believe you said that. You can thank you, XYZ bartender Thompson. Of course, you can be poor and organized, man. Didn't know that they are brother, but big, yeah, man. And the man, and the bang, the man start him whole Adidas business where the man poor brother. Man turned multi-billion-dollar company. The man start born in Germany. You see it? And his brother too, born in poverty. Organize, fix up them things and set up business. Yeah. What I will say though, if you're disorganized, you're going to be poor. Let me say it again. If you're disorganized, if you have money, you're going to lose it because disorganized people have a way of mismanaging resources. Okay. Oh, it was one brand and they split and one kept Adi. Hey, you know, me never know that big stuff that, you know. So it's not so much money JFF don't have. It's not about commitment. It's about poor organization in the JFF. And yep. Many poor people come up with the ideas that did not work and remain poor. Why not tell those stories? I am sure. Brain Drain, tell them for me. Tell them for me. Adolf and Rudolph. Well, Rudolph Speed. Adolf Hitler and Rudolph Speed started. One second. Adolf Hitler, Rudolph Speed started Adidas. Hey, people, big up on yourself, you know. I am management. I am sure sports. I see the suit coming from the left, from the west down to the east. Not listen, it's Rudolph Dassler, not Speed, not SPEED. Yeah, people, for those of you who don't know, big up Sir P in the building, aka Brain Drain. Brain Drain, aka Sir P, incognito, under the radar. Hide and beat, hide and teach. You understand me? Big up, Brain Drain. Yeah. All right, so bless up everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Join us again later when we do a next one. Yeah, man, Brain Drain and him cursing aisle. All right, so bless up people. Again, thank you. It has been a joy being with you today after a little while. I am Management. This is I Am Sure Sports. And as usual, we say we are over and we are OUT. Oh.
Me say I am sure sports.
Yo, watch about dog, SK New Air this. The body out there, Sniper King I represent for I Am Sure Sports. You get to me, I say, when you want the latest news and sports and updates and all of that, check out I Am Sure Sports. You know the thing goes in. Remember, cover the whole island. Remember Kingston, Westmoreland, Galchester, Ocho-Race, Galtigo Bay. Everywhere. I Am Sure Sports. Check it out for the latest news and latest updates. Sniper King I represent. Where them feel like? Ha! Yeah, someone on for the food from we young, from we day, you need height. I Am Sure Sports. Yeah, dog.